Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. If you'll remember, I showed these in a recent haul video, some new mousses and pastes and glacier pastes that I purchased, and so now I'm going to show you what I did with them. Just to recap, we got the IZINK 3D texture paste in TOPAZ, the Lustre polish in RAZZMATAZZ, the Nuvo Crackle mousse in Egyptian gold, Gina K Glitz glitter gel in brilliant blue, the Rina K Electro-Pop neon glitz in orange glow, and in the Nuvo glacier paste we got Mambo Melon and green envy and sea Sprite. So now I'll show you what I did. For this first one, I'm going to use all three of the glacier pastes in this Simon Says Stamp Butterfly Stencil. And I want to just make a mix of all three of these colors. And when I first started it, I thought, oh no, this is going to turn out to be a hot mess. But I kept going, and I'm really glad I did, because I think it turned out really cool in the end. So just a lesson that it may look like a hot mess, but keep going. It might turn out to be something beautiful. And so these absolutely were. And just to note, when I finished with the pink, I was able to put any extra I had on my palette knife back inside the jar. But once they start mixing, then you want to make sure you don't get too much on your palette knife. That way you're not going to waste too much, because you just want to clean that off with a baby wipe and not scrape that back in a jar, because it will be mixed at that point in time. Because this is all, you're doing it all when it's wet. It's not drying in between. So just keep that in mind. And now for the big reveal. And there was that one little messed up spot, but we will fix that when we make the card. Okay, so next we're moving on to the Nuvo Crackle paste in the Egyptian gold, and I'm using the Holtz stencil called Bricked, and you can see it has a lot of irregularities in that mortar in that stencil, so I thought that this crackle paste would go really well for this and make a really nice masculine themed card. So I just I put it on fairly thick, and I do think probably the thicker you put this on, maybe the more it curls, because you'll see that later when I show you what it looks like after they've dried. But I recently watched a video, and they all, when she did it, they all turned out curled like that too when they were using that crackle paste. So if your stuff curls up on you, don't worry about it. It's perfectly normal. You can straighten it out. It won't flake off or anything. It's all good. Okay, so just getting that sealed. And I do need to go back and put my press and seal over all my jars of stuff to just keep them good and sealed and won't dry out. Okay, next we're going to use the Simon Says Stamp Tumbling Hearts, and we're going to use that really pretty topaz paste. This stuff was really silky, and it went on real easy, kind of just spread like a thin icing, and got into all the cracks. I think it spread very easily. I really liked this. I may get more of that brand. I thought it was a very nice and easy thing to work with. After I get it in all the little hearts, I'll just go back over it and kind of scrape off any excess just to smooth it out and make sure everything has a nice even coat, and then I'll put that extra back in the jar and put my lid on, and we'll move on to the next. Okay, so for the next three ones, I'm going to use the same stencil, the My Favorite Things Radiating Rays stencil. I just thought I could make some really cool cards with this stencil, and I don't think I've really used it much. I think I used it on a Horizon kind of card one time, but I do think I need to use this more. It really made some awesome looking cards. So first we're going to use this Rina K Electro-Pop Neon Glitz Glitter Gel, and I think it's basically the same formulation as her mom's, the Gina K, just in these bright fun colors, which it is bright and it is fun. So I really liked them. This stuff went on really easily. The consistency of it is really good. At least it goes on well, and it did not seep under my stencil anywhere. And just scraped off the extra and put it back into the jar. You can see that one went on really very cleanly. Okay, now we'll move on to the Gina K Glitz Glitter Gel in the Brilliant Blue, and this is a gorgeous color blue. I mean, just really, really pretty. I think this will be really pretty for some very striking snowflakes come this winter. And so we'll definitely be doing that. Maybe doing a tone-on-tone, you know, card with, on blue cardstock, do some Brilliant Blue snowflakes. I think that'll probably be very pretty. Anyway, just cleaning up the excess here. We'll scrape that back in the jar. And then we'll move on to the next one. And our last one will be the Lustre polish in the RAZZMATAZZ. Now, this was probably my least favorite of all of them. It's a lot looser of a product, and I did use the sponge that comes on the top of the thing, and maybe that was where I went wrong. I didn't use the sponge very well. I don't know, but anyway, I think this was probably my least favorite. It leaked under the stencil more than any of the others, and I did have a bit of a harder time getting the coverage even. So I think maybe what I'll do is use this to add color to embellishments and or maybe whole areas of cardstock at a time to just polish something. It is called a Lustre polish. I do want to point out that I did clean that little foam thing before I put it back into the top of the unit, or if you don't, it will be crunchy and hard the next time you get it. Ethel wanted to get up here and say hi to everybody today. So this is Ethel. Lucy's not that interested in what I'm doing. Anyway, all right, go play. Okay, so I wanted to show you how everything turned out from what we did. All right, this one is the Lustre polish, and you see how that turned out. There's a little bit of a texture to it, and I did seep under the lines in a couple little spots, but it has a good shine to it, and I said a little bit of a texture. So that's the Lustre polish. This one right here, again, it's got good texture to it. I did get under the stencil right there, but you can put this on as thick or thin as you want. Thicker it is, it really feels like an embellished piece. And this is the IZINK texture paste, 3D texture paste. Okay, next we have this. It is the Gina K Glitz Glitter Gel, and you can see how marvelously shiny that is. And it does not come off, so that's a good thing, and it is just so pretty. I really love that. And this one did real clean. It didn't get under the stencil anywhere, so I like that too. Okay, now here's the Glacier paste that I did, and these are very metallic-y, shiny, and there I got thin on it, so we'll have to do something different. But I really like the blend of the paste together. I think that worked out really nice. It has a lot of texture to it, and it's very, 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 very shiny. You see that? Okay, and so next here is this Crackle paste that I did. This Nuvo Crackle mousse, not paste. And I don't know if it did this because maybe I put it on very thick, but I'm sure that I could probably put it under some books and flatten it out. But there is a lot of shine to it and a lot of crackle, so I think that kind of looks really cool with the brick. So kind of like that. And then we have the Rina K Electro-Pop Neon Glitz. So this, I think, is basically the same formulation as her mom's Gina K. It didn't come off. It no leakage underneath anything. And of course, shiny, shiny, shiny. And the neon just is really vibrant and pops. So I'm going to make some cards with these, and I'll come back and show you what I made. I'm not going to show you the making of all the cards because that would be a long video. So I'll just make some cards and I'll be back to show you what I did. Hello everyone and welcome back. I got these cards finished and just wanted to show them to you real quick. I just decided to do a theme, that way they're a set of cards. If I wanted to give them away to somebody I could. So I just mounted everything on black. I used black mounts behind my sentiments, and my sentiments come from the Simon Says stamp Just Because Word Mix 2. You get the dies to go with that. I did also use this postage stamp Infinity die set from Hero Arts. I used a banner die. I think that's a Simon Says stamp banner group. Let's see. Yeah, Simon Says stitch banners. And I also used some Infinity circles. You'll see here in a minute. So just took some twine, mounted that on foam tape. I added a Nuvo ebony drops to all of them, and on like the sentiments and stuff I used some sparkle pen. So inside and outside. Then that was that one butterfly that I had the messed up spot on, so I just covered it with a sentiment. So that's that one. This one I got a little carried away. I think I squeezed my thing and it came out a little bit thick, so it's a little gray instead of black, but that's okay. It just is nice and sparkly. So there's the inside of that one. Here's where I used a circle to get a little bit bigger circle than that one to mat that with. Thought that turned out well. Just put a simple little high in there. The word mix really has a whole bunch of different things. Here's where I used the banner. Here's where I used the postage stamps dies. So there you go. A set of cards made with all the fun glazes and Glitz glitter gels and cosmic shimmer and neon and crackle paste. So that's it. I'll have everything linked down in the video description below, and we'll see you soon in the next video.